This video is now much, much more important with my Washington Commanders not having a single play caller on the offensive or the defensive side. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyways. Washington needs playmakers, and I brought a great guest in to talk about it. BIB Draft HQ, wide receivers. Let's get it on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BIB Draft HQ, your one-stop shop for all things NFL draft, especially related to the Washington Commanders. And I said playmakers because, man, we have a short list of those here in DC. But before we get into that, let me bring in my guest representing in the face of East Coast Gridiron, my guy, and I can't wait to have him on, Mr. Dante himself. My man, welcome to BIB.
Hey, man, appreciate you having me, man. Love talking draft. You know, it's funny on our channel. A lot of our viewers say that draft season is ECG season. So always happy to talk about prospects and things like that. I feel like I've been getting started at the, since week 1 of college football has kicked off, or week 0, for all the college football guys out there.
It feels like week 0. I've been talking about draft things since probably week 12, week 13 of the NFL season. I'm like, all right, my season's over. I gotta start talking about this offseason crap.
I thought the Jaguars were gonna be like that too, and
look at them now.
Yeah.
Good coaching and health is a dime a dozen in this league. It looks like,
for sure.
I can talk about coaching all day, but guys, before we talk about these prospects, hit that subscribe button here on BIB. Road to 1,000 subscribers going to keep happening. We're at 841 subs right now, so we're 160 something away, 170 away. So hit that subscribe button here on BIB. Once we get to 1,000, may or may not be doing a giveaway. You will have to wait and see. Follow all our social media links up here down in the description, and then you can go follow Dante at East Coast Guardian, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all those links down in the description, and obviously it's going to be talked about on the title. But we're here for wide receivers. My team needs them. Your team actually has a few good ones. Outside of Terry McLaurin, we really got a whole bunch of people that I got to start talking about and start doing reports on. So I say we start at the top of most people's big boards, and then we'll work our way into day 2 and day 3. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's do it.
All righty. I mean, if we're going to start at the top, his team is no longer on top, but I think he'll be the first wide receiver taken off the board. I'm going to talk about Ohio State's Carnell Tate. He is my 1A.
I agree with you. A lot of people will disagree with us about that because, of course, Jordyn Tyson is in the same draft as well. But I think the thing that, and he's probably going to be your 1B, I'm guessing, but the thing about Jordyn Tyson is his injury history, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's get into, Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate is sat behind some luxurious wide receivers over the years, I guess we could say. Brian Hartline, of course, has been so good in college football as a wide receiver coach, offensive coordinator this past year for Ohio State. But his bread and butter was really recruiting. I mean, he rolled out the red carpet for these guys all the time. And then you go get a guy like Carnell Tate, who, obviously wasn't the number 1 because of Jeremiah Smith was there. Wasn't a number 1 last year, but you could feel his impact on that team. He does everything, man. One of the best things about Carnell Tate is, to me, he's the closest thing to Tedero McMillan in the league with better separation skills at this point in time. Yeah. And I'm not a big guy that's, you need to get separation for me to feel and that you're a great receiver. Like, my one thing is as close to, if you can catch the ball, I don't care how you got there, right? And that was my evaluation on Tedero McMillan. I didn't care that he couldn't separate. He caught the ball every single time that it was in his vicinity. Carnell Tate's an interesting unicorn type of receiver, though, because he can play all over the field. But I think he's mainly going to either play an X or Z at the next level. And so, in regards to the Commanders, pairing him up with somebody like, Terry McLaurin, who I think that's kind of his comp, to be honest. And I know they went to Ohio State, both of them, so then you get that connection too. But I think he is a little bit more of a flashy Terry McLaurin, to be honest. And so I love his hands. His route running is pretty clean. But there's just a spectacular catches that he can make. His vision to go up and grab the ball, I think, is what makes him the strongest receiver probably in this class. Outside of some hidden gems that, I think about that could be better. But I agree with you. I think he's 1A and he should be the first receiver off the board.
Yeah, I like the Terry comp, not just because obviously I'm obviously a Commanders fan, but I think I forget who I said this with. I was like, Carnell Tate is better where he is now than Terry was coming out of Ohio State, and I think year one for Commanders. Like, if Terry and Carnell were on the same team in 2019 when Terry came out, Carnell would have been 1 and Terry would have been the 2.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Carnell's a special talent, and I always like guys that have just waited their turn too. And he still waited his turn. He wasn't the number 1 guy, and you don't just lock up a Jeremiah Smith, right? When you get him. But those guys at Ohio State that have been part of that wide receiver room, you don't see them transfer out a lot, and they're a really big brotherhood. So, when it comes to that, like the Jackson Smith and Jigbas of the world and all those guys, even the comments that Garrett Wilson has been making today about like defending the Jets and how much, that it's bigger than what people are saying. Like, he wants to be there. And I think that's excellent. I think that's the culture that they built at Ohio State too. So not only are you getting that, you're not going to have a off-field problem with Carnell Tate. And me going through the NFL scouting program, I'm gonna tell you this. The scouts that are out there for every single team, they get assigned to do things like look into people's personal life. And I'm telling you, this is going to be part of the evaluation process for him on a personal level, that he's going to check every single box, because the Ohio State wide receiving core over the years has been known not to cause any problems anywhere that they go. So
no, not at all. Again, he's my top of the board. I think my camera is malfunctioning for whatever reason. Again, top of my board. If he was there for my Commanders and all my other options were gone, I would take him instantly. You get a playmaker to pair it with Terry. And like I said, he's waited his turn. I hate to do this, but I wonder if he might be this year's, ironically, JSN. Is he'll go to a team that already has a 1, but year 2, he's just going to flip the script.
And it's crazy because the last 2 guys that were the most comparable to each other was JSN and Emeka Egbuka, and they played at Ohio State together too.
Yep.
And Emeka Egbuka was in the same situation. He didn't go in there being the number 1.
He was number 3.
Right. If all those guys were healthy, he would have been number 3 on the depth chart. So you're absolutely right. And I think a lot of people that are not us, that are the casual fans, are going to look at this draft and be like, why did we draft a wide receiver in the first round? Well, you got to understand that a guy like this paired up with a guy like Terry McLaurin is going to give you more stability than Terry and Debo. It just is what it is.
It is what it is. Again, I would love him. I think we have more dire needs than a Carnell Tate if he was there at 7. But if we took, and I'm going home run hit.
Yep.
Let me see what my OC can do with these guys.
Facts.
I think a guy that is probably going to get a little bit more talked about because of the injury concerns, and he brought him, it's probably my 1B. But again, if you have him as your 1A, I'm not going to argue with you. Jordyn Tyson.
Yeah, a lot of people have him as a top guy, and I think right now that we're not seeing him play every Saturday, we're not have to worry about the injuries. So people are now just starting to dig into the tape and seeing him for who he really is. Look, the dude's excellent. I mean, it just is what it is. And the unfortunate part about the evaluation process this year is the fact that Sam Levitt got hurt at Arizona State, and then he got, he was hurt all throughout the season. And so I think the big question mark is what's going to be interesting. And if you guys have been paying attention to the transfer portal, Sam Levitt's been, I mean, LSU, Tennessee, like the dude's on
Kentucky.
an all-star tour right now to find his next team. Yeah, Kentucky with Will Stein as his head coach would be incredibly nasty. But how much was it Sam Levitt that was able to elevate Jordyn Tyson? Because people have to remember, Jordyn Tyson was on Colorado, buried on a depth chart. Then he transferred. So, but the one thing that always stands out on film to me about him is his burst off the line, his release. And when you need a big play to happen, most of the time he's going to make a big play. I think there's one more guy on this list that makes big plays every single time, but 75% of the time you're going to get a spectacular catch out of Jordyn Tyson, in my opinion. And then the other 25% is the stuff that's, less to be desired about him. And that's why I pretty much have him lower on my list than a lot of other people. I definitely agree with you with Carnell, but his skill set is so attractive to teams, though. Like, I know the Giants fans are really like clamoring at the bits for a guy like him because they think the pressure would be taken off of him with Malik Neighbors, and he can just do his thing when you least expect it, right? And I think that's kind of a perfect place like that would, or a place like that with the Giants would be a really good spot for him with so many flashy players where he doesn't have to be the main guy. Versus like a Carnell who's going to work his way up to being a number one receiver in the league, and he's going to be dangerous. I don't necessarily see Jordyn Tyson being the number one overall guy for a team in the NFL. And I'm looking at this from a scouting standpoint. Like, look, I think the injury history is a concern. I mean, what have you done for me lately? I mean, you're going to wind up in a situation. Let's say he goes to a team that actually needs a number one receiver, and they invest all this into this kid. Then he gets hurt by week 5, and then you're going into the next draft, drafting the next number one guy, right?
Yeah.
It's just too much of a concern for me, and I don't think he has like an elite skill set outside of his elite release on the line of scrimmage, which, again, I'm going to still bring up Tedero McMillan because he didn't have a great release either, but he's dominant because of what? He caught the ball every time that was in his hands. I don't necessarily feel that from Jordyn Tyson.
Yeah. I mean, Ted is also, 6'3", 6'4". He has the size to help his case.
Exactly. I would love to see what Jordyn's 40 time is. I think that's going to be a huge, determining factor for a lot of teams in this going into this process, especially against Carnell Tate's. Like, I think it's going to be definitely between those two, but whoever has the fastest 40 time is probably going to be the one that gets chosen off the board first.
I would agree. I would expect probably like a 4.4, 4.5 from Tyson. I mean, like he's 6'2", so he already has good size at the wide receiver position. But I agree. If Tate runs like a 4.41 and Tyson runs a 4.48, we're back to square one.
Yeah. I honestly see probably Jordyn Tyson, and I would love to revisit this. I think he runs like a 4.39 at the combine, and everybody loses their mind.
That would happen.
It's just like it's really a 4.4, but okay.
Yeah, it's because you got to round up the number. It's be like, oh, he had a 4.39, but the other one is 4.59. No, 4.39 is his official time.
You see a 3 out, on the other side of that 4, and it doesn't matter what that third number is. No,
John Ross. Fast, and you were like, him?
Yeah, you got stone for hands, man. Hands for decoration is what we used to say.
I be saying that all the time. Hands. Yep. I mean, the holidays are over, so now they're just hands for nostalgic decorations. At this rate, you're like, oh, why we got these?
Hands for food utensils. This,
Hey, I mean, Jalen Hyatt was. I mean, you won't bring the Giants. Jalen Hyatt was the same way. He had long field speed, and you're like, he can catch Hyatt.
I didn't even. I just kind of smirked to myself when he won the Biletnikoff because I told people that year, I said, Cedric Tillman was playing and wasn't hurt. He probably would have won the Biletnikoff because he was actually leading the race in the preseason polls. And Jalen Hyatt just kind of like, Hendon Hooker was just throwing it up to him the whole time, and he was just racing downfield. Cedric Tillman is the better receiver. And guess what? When Cedric Tillman's healthy, Everybody
He
sees it on
is.
Sundays like, Cedric Tillman might have the juice. Where Jalen Hyatt been all this time?
Yeah.
Disappeared.
Like, just like the Airbender, he disappeared.
Yep.
But
Another wasted
goodness,
talent.
another waste of talent in New York. What a shocker.
Yep.
What a shocker. Probably going to be the 1C on this list because he's probably, I think overall, teams are going to like this guy a little bit more midway through the draft. It's going to be USC's Makai Lemon.
Yeah, Makai Lemon is a dog, man. I don't know how else to slice it. From the film that I've watched on him, he's the opposite of Jordyn Tyson. He's not the fastest. He's not the best route runner. He's not the most physical because Jordyn Tyson could get a little bit of physical with you. But the thing about him versus and why he's more attracted to me than a Jordyn Tyson, you throw the ball anywhere, and for his size, you know, like the Monstar or the Michael Jordan was reaching for the basketball hoop in Space Jam. That's Jordyn, or that's Makai Lemon, man. I mean, for his size, he's an absolute demon. I can't wait to watch what his measurables come back to be and how much of a fun combine he's going to have compared to the other receivers, because I think he's going to test the best on all the catch and drills. He's going to make everybody look silly. And then you come to the 40 time and it's just going to be average. And people are going to talk about that. And that's what's going to bump him down. But it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won the Biletnikoff trophy. Neither did I. I didn't agree with that. I thought a lot of other receivers were better statistically. But if you watch his highlight tape, if you don't have the film and you go to YouTube, you watch his highlight tape, he's a walking first down. He's to me, and I give this guy a lot of credit, Stephon Diggs, right? Like, Stephon Diggs was a walking first down for Josh Allen. This guy is more talented than the Stephon Diggs, but he's also has that capability that when it's 3rd and 12, you throw it to me on the sideline, I'm gonna make the dude miss, and I'm gonna catch it right outside the boundary, and boom, we got a first down. The team is back in position. And let's not even talk about him in the red zone. He's just uncoverable for whatever reason. Like, he just disappears to defenders. So, I think we could see in this process where the gears get switched, Jordyn, Tyson, Carnell, Tate go down the list, and Makai Lemon ends up being the first receiver off the board for some teams. I'm just saying, like, I feel like that could happen.
Which would be, I mean, he's the draft, so anything can happen, but you would just see every expert go, why y'all hiring me?
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a thing where somebody's going to supersede somebody to, and I don't think it's going to be a reach, but a lot of people on draft day would be like, that's a reach for a smaller wide receiver. And then what we're going to see is Devontae Smith 2.0 on the field. Smaller guy that just catches everything that's in his vicinity. I hate to keep bringing up receivers in the NFC East for you.
I mean, when they make the perfect comp, he can't help but do it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that's his comp. I think that's what people are going to see, because he's small and he's going to catch everything. And when you relate that to another guy, it's Devontae Smith, right? Yeah. Devontae Smith is an elite talent. And it's just unfortunate that A.J. Brown's on the same team as him, because I think if Devontae Smith was to hit the free agency market tomorrow, all 32 teams in the NFL, all 31 would be clamoring at the bits to bring him in, because I think he's that good. Yep. But maybe Makai Lemon can get there at one point in time. It's all about how teams, his health, first of all, how teams are going to perceive them in the system, and how valuable he's going to make himself getting hit for 17 games throughout the season, right? His durability. But I think the sky's the limit for him if he keeps himself healthy, for sure.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's going to keep probably some teams from going, let me get Carnell or Tyson first, is probably the size. But like you said, once the combine hits and it goes, him, please.
Yeah,
I'll take him top 5 pick.
Right.
But I mean, it happens every year though. The smaller guy, top of the draft board, but because he's smaller, he's gonna fall. And it's like, nope. We keep doing it every year.
Unfortunately, as an independent scout myself, I always throw the measurables out. The measurables are a sexy thing to a lot of people, unless they're just, if you can watch the film and say their measurables are the reason why they are not going to be great, I can get that. But when you get guys like him and Devontae Smith and just like these guys that have been undersized, Levante David coming out of Nebraska, right? Like these guys that are undersized on the position, then they come out being really, really good. And what did Levante David do when he came into the NFL? He literally transcended the way that people play linebacker, and people are more accepting into drafting smaller linebackers because he's so quick and he's so good at everything. I'm not saying that Makai Lemon is going to come in and everybody's going to start drafting a smaller receiver for their team, because those guys usually get moved into the slot like we talked about backstage. But I think he can be a highlight reel for a team, man, with the right quarterback. Don't let Joe Burrow go to another team and then they draft Makai Lemon. It's going to be over for everybody.
Don't let them draft Makai Lemon with Jamar and Tiso there. That would be unfair.
I think they've been, we could get into that another day, but man, Jermaine Burton was my guy, man. He lost his mind. That could have been the Makai Lemon for the Bengals, bro. That dude has so much talent. He's a dork, man. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, you drafted Makai Lemon there with them. It's over. The Super Bowl. It don't matter how bad their defense is.
And then you want like a nice, cool fourth. You still got Andre Yoshivas, and it's like he's still a dog.
Yeah, Yoshivas is, man. Despite his well, I always say he looked like a boy band. When I was at the Senior Bowl the one year watching, I was like, dude, who's this dude with highlights in his hair, man? He looked like a pretty boy. Like, is he out here about to sing for everybody? But nah, he's an absolute dog.
I mean, good for him though. Like, because what was he? He was a late round pick for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he would have got drafted if he didn't go to the Senior Bowl and do well, because he was okay there.
No, definitely not. Yeah. No, Senior Bowl definitely helps prospects. That is guaranteed.
I can't wait to get there in a couple weeks, man. Like, man, people talk so bad about this draft, and I think there's so many gems in this draft.
Oh yeah, I think there's more hidden gems than there's true like first round talent. It's a weird draft for sure.
Yeah. Defensively, this is going to be one of the better drafts that we've seen in a long time.
I agree. Someone who is probably a late first, whether it's a Pittsburgh, a Buffalo, Dallas, their second round or their second first round pick, Rams second first round pick, but I enjoy him more and more than I'm watching him. Washington's Denzel Boston.
Denzel Boston, man, he is a crowd favorite amongst a lot of people. He absolutely has the skill set to be the best all-around receiver in this class, and that's the one thing that just jumps out to me. Really good route runner, really good release, really good hands, can be very, very physical. I thought he was related to what's his name, David Boston. They used to play big dude back in it. I thought he was related, but they're not related at all. But yeah, he's been was a late riser for sure. Like by like week 4, people started to turn their head. Now, I think he is going to be better than a lot of people give him credit for. And I almost compared this back to Teteroa McMillan and the way that those guys were developed out there at Arizona. You guys got an Arizona prospect too, Ja'Cory Croskett-Moret. Like those guys are so underrated there, and they've had such good coaching over the years. And Jed Fish is such a good head coach, and he finds hidden gems and he makes those guys, absolute superstars. Compared to the other 3 guys that we talked about, I don't know if he's joined the Senior Bowl. I have to look at the roster, but if he goes to the Senior Bowl, people are going to come out of that week saying that he's the best receiver in the draft. I'm just telling everybody right now, because he's going to be consistent all the way through. And I think every single day he's going to learn something new and get better and get better and get better. I think he has that skill set, but his physicality for his size is the thing that always impresses me for him. there was a play he made this year. I forget what team it was. I just remember the play. He caught a hitch, made two guys miss, and turned a 3-yard gain into like a 15-yard gain. And just the fundamentals of how he did it, kept his head on a swivel, caught the pass, was able to tuck it. And then I always say, when I used to coach and everything, the sideline is your friends. Got upfield close to the sideline and tippy-toed his way, late in the game to get his team in a position to kick a field goal. And you gotta love these type of receivers in the draft, and he's definitely a pro receiver. That's one thing I can say is like he's not going to get fluked whatsoever when you watch his film. He just screams like whoever needs a number 2 guy. I don't think he'll necessarily be the bona fide number 1 guy because you start thinking about the number ones like the circus catches, the CeeDee Lambs, the Terry McLaurins, like those guys, like AJ Brown. Those are specific guys that you can count on. And they're divas, but David Boston is going to be the perfect complement to a number 1 somewhere, and people are going to love him. He's the T. Higgins of this draft. I'll put it like that. He's T. Higgins.
Ooh, I like that.
Yep.
I have him going to, I think, Pittsburgh the most when I do some mocks, like backstage behind the scenes of this thing. Him and DK together. You still got Calvin Austin. Poor Roman Wilson, because I had such high hopes for him, but I don't see that happening. But him and DK would be nasty.
I wish they would throw him the ball more, man. Roman Wilson is such an underutilized talent.
He is.
I love Roman.
His health just hasn't done him any favors, though.
I don't know what he didn't play a snap last year.
No,
it was crazy. Had an amazing Senior Bowl and everything. I had an amazing year at Michigan. Like, I literally think that he got JJ drafted.
Oh, for sure. Man, there is no question.
And people want to just deny it.
Him, Corum,
and Colston Loveland.
Colston Loveland, for sure. Let's see. I'll talk about Roman Wilson real quick. Sprained ankle in training camp, hamstring injury during the regular season, and then just kept him out like the rest of the season.
Yeah. You can't tell me that there are 5 other guys outside of Adam Thielen, maybe, and when he's playing at a high level, that are better than Roman Wilson on that roster right now. Not even, and I like Calvin Austin, but he's not better than Roman Wilson when he's at 100%. No. I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
Call me crazy, but I don't. Was it a pure wide receiver? No.
But DK, Denzel, and a Roman Wilson as your trio. I like that for a new quarterback.
I think Pittsburgh is a great spot. Also think my comp for him at some points was Rashad Bateman at Minnesota. And so, like, I even think about the Ravens utilizing somebody like him because I think he can be more consistent where Rashad Bateman is. I don't understand why the Baltimore Ravens paid him an extended contract for him just to disappear. But,
man,
I think he's the Rashad Bateman of this draft where he's going to be a very safe pick for a team. And if they drafted him high, me and you were just going to be like, well, depending on what team he goes to, it might be over for everybody else in the league.
Yeah. He's going to Tampa with Ekbuka and Mike Evans. All right, just hand him Lombardi right now.
Yep. Oh, him and Ekbuka together would be insane.
Oh. And they took out McMillan.
Imagine that.
Or Tez Johnson.
Or Tedero McMillan and him. Oh. They don't have a solid number 2. Man, Panthers, call me up. I'll give you the full scouting report. Bryce would be a very happy man.
2 6'4" wide receivers in that room, and then Leggett.
And I'm out on the
Coker.
Xavier Leggett thing at this, and Jalen Coker too. I think Xavier Leggett is a good number 3 on the team, regardless of how big he is. But David, Denzel is like the opposite of what Tate. He can actually get separation. I think Tate's going to be a superstar. It would just be crazy.
I didn't think about Carolina because I'm thinking he's going to go between like 19 to 25, that range. Him to Carolina.
Let's say somebody pulls him out. I think the perfect spot for him is the second round going to Carolina.
Okay,
Man, I think everybody will lose their mind when that happens.
they would. I had like a late first grade on Denzel, but that's purely because I think some teams need wide receivers more than they're actually gonna go.
I agree with you.
Pittsburgh being one of them.
Yeah, I think there's one guy on this list. When we get to him, you'll understand why I have him higher than Denzel. And I think that this guy was sneaking to the first round. Like, because I think right now he's like a day 3 guy, and I'm like, let's wait till the draft process really starts kicking off and people are going to talk about him a little bit more.
I mean, someone who is either going to rise or fall slightly because of where Indiana's going to go, but I would take him almost in a heartbeat, is Elijah Sarratt. I like him.
Man. Elijah Sarratt coming over from James Madison with Kurt Signetti, playing with Curtis Rourke last year, playing with Fernando Mendoza this year. And actually, Elijah's not getting the love he got last year from Curtis Rourke, but still his impact on the field is insane. Though the one thing about Elijah, man, he's so good at everything. And I feel like we still just haven't seen enough of him. To be completely honest, even though he's played a lot, I feel like he's one of those guys that's, again, going to test really well. He's going to be a favorite amongst teams, and then he's going to fall to like day 3, and we're all going to be scratching our heads like, why did he fall to day 3? And he's going to make the league pay at the next level. I hate to talk so highly about these guys, but like, I think this wide receiver class is really, really solid.
It is.
But Elijah Sarratt's best skill set, he looks like an NFL receiver. And what I mean by that is good NFL receivers save their quarterbacks in really tough situations when the ball is not necessarily on point every single time. So like those back shoulder fades and things like that, that's his bread and butter. It's like he's got eyeballs on the back of his head. And when I watch Indiana both years, and they run, a pretty pro style offense, with some RPO schemes here and there. But on the outside, he's definitely not going to be a slot receiver. I don't even know why they try the experiment. He needs to be a true outside receiver in the X or the Z. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you just throw him back shoulder face the whole time for first downs, and he's going to go up there and out physical everybody. I can't say enough great things about Elijah Sarratt, man. And that's really like, he's another one like with Denzel, NFL receiver, going to come out and be a solid number 2 for a team. And I think for somebody like, if I'm just going off of teams here, like the Falcons are in prime position to pair somebody up with Drake London and Kyle Pitts. That's going to help elevate Michael Penix Jr. and the things that he likes to do, because I don't think Zach Robinson took advantage of that at all with Michael Penix Jr. last year. And everybody's looking at him as a bust, and he's not. You get Elijah Sarratt. Michael Penix Jr. used to tear people up on back shoulder fades downfield all the time.
Yep.
You put Elijah Sarratt on the Falcons, and he becomes a superstar with Michael Penix Jr. So, yeah, he's a beast.
He's insane. I got a day 2 grade on him, but it's probably like exactly where Atlanta picks. I think he could go slightly earlier depending on team needs. Like the Jets right there at 33 say, hey, we want someone to pair with Garrett.
He's gonna be the Kyle Williams of this draft. Ooh. How like late in the process people are like, Kyle Williams is awesome, but then he kind of fell out of the first round and things like that, just like I thought he would, because I mean, Kyle Williams is good, but I didn't think he was like this superstar. It's the same thing with Elijah Sarratt. Like, people are gonna say first round grade on him, and then he's gonna go in the 3rd round. And we're gonna be looking at each other like somebody got a steal with him too. So, but that's where he should be. I think he doesn't have an elite skill set, but what he does really well screams that I'm an NFL receiver, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I was on the Kyle Williams train probably February-ish. Shout out to Josh Taylor for that, because he was on the hive early. I'm like, all right, Josh, talking about him. Let me talk about him. I was like, Washington, please. And he went to New England. I was like, that's going to be good for him. Him, Diggs, Pop Douglas, and Drake May. I'm like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah. He's had some pretty solid games. Next year, I wonder how much they're going to utilize him. But Kyle does have his problems.
He does.
But he's in a good situation with Drake May. It's kind of like you sink or swim with that now because you got your quarterback, and if you don't perform well with a great quarterback, you'll find yourself out of a team. So unfortunately for him, he has to grow really, really quickly at this point in time because especially with the looming Stephon Diggs thing that's happening right now too, he might not be a part of this organization next year or might get let go in this offseason depending on what's happened. But Kyle's going to need to step up to the plate and show that he can step in place of him. So
he will. I agree. I think someone like I'm going to use step up as a segue for this guy. I think when Indiana needed him most, and especially when Elijah wasn't right there, this guy stepped up. Like the one big catch, almost the Jordyn-esque post to get that touchdown. I was like, let me do some tape on him, and I really like him in the third-ish round, and that's exactly his jersey number. It's Omar Cooper Jr., number 3.
So remember the guy that I was telling you about? Hold on.
I
think he's gonna stick it to the first round.
Oh,
Omar Cooper is better than your favorite wide receiver in college right now.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Jeremiah Smith. I'm not lying when I say this. People are gonna look at me like I have 5 eyeballs on my head, bro. But Omar Cooper stayed loyal with Indiana through their coaching change, waited his turn. Elijah Sarratt was the guy last year. I know they have Charlie Becker that's been stepping up this year. And the only thing that's kept him back is some little nagging injuries here and there. But he's gonna be the reason why they win the national championship. He is. He's going to be so valuable. He's the most valuable person to Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman than anybody else on that team.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
In my opinion. He does everything, man. He's got the size. He's super fast on the second level of his break. You saw the amazing catches that he makes. And when I say, remember we were talking about NFL wide receivers they have really good skill sets, but they have that spectacular skill set that the CeeDee Lambs, Terry, all those guys that just can catch a ball in the back of the end zone and just toe tap that thing in that just other receivers don't have. His skill set to me, and I know he's not as big as this dude, but AJ Brown is like my comp for Omar Cooper. I feel very highly about Omar, man, and I think he's going to test well. I think people are going to come out and say watch. By the time March comes around, he's a freak, man. Like, why is everybody missing on this guy? Like, he's I could go on and on, man. Every time I watch Indiana, it's been such a treat when he's out there on the field. And they have they have a really good receiving core. They have this kid, EJ Williams, that's there that it's just waiting. I think he's actually going to be in this draft too, who might go undrafted free agent, but he's going to make an impact on the team. I caught him on film, watching Omar Cooper's film, and I'm like, damn, he's been impressive too. But all those kids at Indiana are awesome. So, but I think he definitely leads the pack over all of them. I would have said Elijah Sarratt would have been their number 1 this year. If you were talking about preseason polls, Elijah Sarratt probably would have been in my top 3 receivers. Omar Cooper just, for whatever reason, just unleashed himself this year. And I love it. I love every bit of it. He was the most fun part of watching Indiana this year, in my opinion.
Yeah. For those who watch BIB and see me do mock drafts, if y'all looked at the BIB group chat, me, Justin, Chris, Andrew, Nick, if I'm doing 100 mock drafts and I'm right there at 74, because I hate how some people do, like PFF does their big boards, and I don't trust their big boards. I just use them to get names to the mock draft simulator. Like I use it as a framework before I build my boards in these top 10s. He's there at 74 every time, and I take him almost every single time. He is probably going to go top 50. If you're saying he can sneak into the first round, I got him top 50 then.
I think he sneaks right in at the end, bro. I think that's his ceiling, right? I think his floor is he's not going past the beginning of the 3rd round. Don't see that happening.
No.
Oh, if you said Denver gets, oh my Lord.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm a big Bo Nix guy, so I'm already there for it with that.
him with who do they have? They got
Cortland
Cortland
Sutton,
Sutton,
Marvin Mims,
Get
Troy
Omar,
Franklin.
give him Omar and grab him like a tight end, like a Stowers or like a Justin Jolly.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Pat Bryant's there too.
oh, I forget. I was such a Pat Bryant guy, and I can't forget. I don't know how I forgot him. He was on Denver.
We interviewed him last year. He's such a cool dude too, man.
He's
dude.
So not like I'm because I'm in school right now. I can't go to a lot of these things. I'm like, bro, these kids. I say kids like I'm not also a kid at this rate. I'm like, I feel like Unc watching some of y'all. Like last year with Jeremiah Smith and Rob Williams. He's 17.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the retirement home like right now. Just walk out the door.
Yeah. All these guys are so good though, man. You put together a really good list. I'm excited to get to one of these guys on the list though. I don't know where he's going to end up, but
that's true.
You know the one guy I'm talking about.
I do. The one guy I'm excited about just because he had my Biletnikoff vote. If I voting rights, obviously people like me don't. He had my vote, and I got him. I would love him in Washington. I think he's one of the more surefire wide receivers in this draft. Hands, size, ability. UConn Skyler Bell.
Yeah, Skyler Bell to me is like the how can I say this without not sounding disrespectful? He's the social media wide receiver, right?
Oh, yeah.
You see, he's just like a social media highlight reel.
Touche.
The only thing about him is he played at UConn.
Yeah.
And I think with wide receivers, and I feel the same way with cornerbacks, like we saw Quinyon Mitchell kind of take a step down this year, and a lot of those other guys. Who was the big one? Sauce Gardner. I never was a Sauce Gardner guy, and now everybody's like, damn, he might be. He's not a bust because that first year was incredible, but was he worth 2 first-round picks? Hell no. I don't think he was worth 1 at this point in time.
No. I would have given up 1, but I would have also had to absorb some of that contract. Like I only would have done 2.
Yeah. But if he got your Biletnikoff vote, then ball. Because it was him and Wyatt Young from North Texas to me that had better years than Jeremiah Smith and Makai Lemon in my opinion. Makai Lemon, for those that don't know, actually ended up winning. But Skyler Bell, again, if somebody was at a workout or like you took away his jersey and photoshopped like another team's jersey on him, you'd be like, damn, this dude might be better than Jeremiah Smith. Like,
yeah.
But I just want to see him more because there's some points in the games where he just absolutely disappears or he doesn't start out that well. But the second half of the game, it's almost like he turns into the Hulk, man, and just catches everything that's thrown at him, which I think that's his best ability is going after the ball when it's in his vicinity, regardless of how terrible a pass is. And I think Joey Fagano was their quarterback there. And I don't think Joey Fagano's as good as what people give him credit for. But I think Skyler Bell is really the real deal in the second half of those games, though. I know Jim Moore Jr. was their coach, and I know he schemed him up. He's always the guy that's like, yeah, we're gonna scheme up our best guy, right? And Skyler Bell is definitely their best guy, but he's gonna fly under the radar.
He will.
For the simple fact is you played at UConn, you didn't play that great a competition. Ashton Genty put up big numbers and didn't play anybody, and they're gonna. That's what he's gonna be compared up against. Like, we got to be completely honest here. But I'm a film guy first, college guy first. Watch it every single Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday after his games, and I've seen him play several times. And when he shows up, it's in the second half of the games, and I think people. That's the one thing that they're gonna ask him in the interview process. Why such the slow starts? Is it the way that things were schemed up? Does it just take you a while to get warmed up? Because a lot of these games in the NFL are not won at the end; they're won at the beginning of games. Yep, a lot of the times. So you got to be able to set the tone early because in the NFL, a lot of these cornerbacks are gonna punk you, and they're going to take
Yeah.
your confidence away from you. And so that second half that you think that you're going to have, you're going to be defeated by the time you get there because you've been getting beat up the whole game. So, but to me, Skyler Bell is the safest pick. When I think about the 4th round wide receivers this year, like the Dante Thornton Jr. and the Jalen Royals of the world, like I think Jalen Royals was awesome. I don't know why he went in the 4th round. That's beyond me. I think the Chiefs are going to unlock him later. I know he's been going through a couple injury issues. Dante Thornton Jr. was not a 4th round wide receiver. Skyler Bell is the perfect 4th, 5th round wide receiver. You plug him right there. He becomes the automatic 3rd best receiver on your team. Yep. And you just hope that he can unlock himself to gain the confidence to be the number 2 eventually, and maybe a number 1, because the dude can make some amazing catches. Yeah. He's a red zone monster, and that's where he does a lot of his work. But I just need to see him speed up his game. That's like the biggest knock on him.
Yeah, in that aspect of him kind of not showing him in the first half, warming into and finally coming out the second half. It's like the 2024, 2025, 2026 Terry McLaurin. Like, you can't find him first half. Second half, you're like, oh, there he is for a second. Oh, I found him, guys. He's pulling up 58 yards.
Make an amazing, 60-yard grab, and then that's what we remember for the game. And then the rest of the game, he's just been kind of suspect, right?
So, 5 yards here, 10 yards here. It's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, not doing anything spectacular. Yeah, no. That's
but then, like you said, get to the red zone, into the end zone. You're going to use them.
And that's valuable for a lot of teams because the point of the game is to score points. So even if they look at the process of you might have a slow start, but if we get in the red zone, it's pretty much caskets for anybody that you go up against.
Yeah.
But again, group of 5 caskets versus NFL
caskets. I agree. I agree. I think if you went to even like an Arkansas and put up similar-esque, not the season he had this year, because he had called 1,313. If he had 908 at Arkansas, I think we'd be here I'd still take him and you can develop him. I think that, like you said, the UConn thing is going to hurt him more than anything.
Yeah, and I don't know if he actually, let's see.
Because he went 1282.
He has completed his college eligibility. Okay, so he's forced to come out.
Unfortunately, because I think if he went to a bigger school, he would do some things.
And I could see you name Arkansas. That's a perfect place for him to go and shine. A lot of kids do that. They go to the Power 4 and they go to one of the low-level teams, the Vanderbilts, the Arkansas, and they become the star. Yeah. And that's great because you're actually playing good competition. So
if he had one more year, you know where he would be perfect at if he had one more year of eligibility?
Where?
For between coaching and then to get some experience, USF under Brian Hartline.
Yep, Brian Hartline would definitely get him schemed up to do things. I also think maybe under a Lane Kiffin type too.
Yeah,
you know, he wouldn't reach for a Skyler Bell, but I think under Lane Kiffin, he definitely would get a lot of burn. I mean, we discovered these Lane Kiffin wide receivers, midway through the draft, and they actually end up being, pretty decent. So.
Yeah. I mean, even if you went to, I'm just going to say because they have a new wide receiver coach, Ohio State, they got the LSU coach that worked with Jamar and Justin and Malik. That's experience you can't get.
Brian Hartline, that's the way you replace it.
Yeah. I saw that going, I'm like, you know what? We're trying to replace Brian. He did a hell of a job.
Yep. Yeah. Losing Brian is crazy.
But good for him though. He's been grinding for years though. Good for Hartline.
It was eventually he was going to get a job because of his recruiting prowess, regardless of how he coaches.
Yep.
The wide receivers that are going to come to USF are going to be insane here next year. He's going to pull a couple 5-stars out of his ass over the next couple of years that we're like, why the hell are they going to University of Southern Florida? What the hell?
And then you remember Brian Hartline, you're like, all right, never mind.
Yep, exactly.
You're like, and I don't know ball. Let me move on.
Yep. He knows something I don't know for sure.
You know, he knows a lot I definitely don't know and will never know.
Yeah, I don't know how he's been pulling 5 stars like he did, even at Ohio State. It's absolutely remarkable, to be completely honest with you. Like, just go and look at their roster. Do the last. I think he's been there for 7 years at Ohio State. Look at the last 7 years of recruiting for Brian Hartline, and you'll be like, "Well, damn."
Yeah. Well, recruiting, and look at the last 7 years of receivers he's put into the league.
It's a big list.
From Curtis Samuel to Paris Campbell to Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin to JSN to Buka to Marv, and unfortunately for Marv, he plays in Arizona, to now Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate.
Brandon Ennis is going to be the next one in line. It's scary times we're living in.
Hey, I'm not mad at it, though. It's kind of good for college football. I ain't mad at it.
It is.
It's a good thing. One guy, I'm gonna kind of jump my list. One guy that when I sent you my list, you're like, thank God you put him on the list. And I'm late to the party. I'll fully admit, John, you're recording this in January. I'm late to the party, guys. Because I
know everybody else is gonna be late to the party, because I can almost guarantee you 98% of the people are not gonna know who this guy is.
No, still. And it took me a second to get there, so I'm happy to have someone who knows a little bit more than me, and I want these conversations. Yep. It's GT's Eric Rivers.
Eric Rivers was damn near the best receiver last year at FIU. Before he transferred to Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
and those Georgia Tech uniforms right there look clean, by the way.
I was like, if I'm getting a photo, it's this angelic photo of him.
Yeah, that's a really good photo. Whoever took that. I told you in the DMs, I've been following Eric Rivers since he was at McAlester High School in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He was like one of the guys that I was looking on the recruiting trail, and I'm like, Eric Rivers, okay, let me see what he's got. And I had a recruiting buddy that was like, yo, check him out. And I checked him out, and he's fast as shit, got good hands, great route runner, very smart, willing to block. Like, I'm more disappointed that he went to Georgia Tech, because they were going to run the ball a ton. You know, Jamal Haynes and Haynes King, and I think he kind of I think his skill set just didn't match what Brent Key and those guys are going to do at Georgia Tech, versus going somewhere like, I don't know, name your favorite school, you know, Tennessee, you know,
Florida,
State, even Maryland with Malik Washington up there. Like, he would have had a field day having Eric Rivers on his team.
Or a game with Dante Moore, because
that would have been a perfect place for him, because Evan Stewart got hurt.
Thank you, Evan Stewart. Thank you. I was searching for the name and I couldn't find it. It was Eric Stewart.
Yeah. Evan Stewart was a beast. Eric Rivers, man, he's, when he gets the ball in his hands, this is his best skill set. He gets the ball in his hands, he makes like 5 people miss. He doesn't go down. He's a smaller guy, but he just outruns everybody. When people say, do you have a second gear? No, Eric Rivers has a third gear. Like, he goes from first to third, like, quickly. You're not going to catch him. And unfortunately for him, this is what I'll say, if you want me to be the scout and realistic guy here. Eric Rivers, to me, is a first-round talent at wide receiver. But the NFL is going to look at him as a special teamer. Yeah. Because of the skill set I just told you. The ability to make people miss, the ability to get the ball in his hand and being able to have the third gear, his vision on the field. And if he ends up being an all-time great kick returner and punt returner, nobody's going to bat an eye.
Nope.
But I think that we are – how surgical this guy could probably be a wide receiver is we didn't get to see that on display at Georgia Tech. And it's kind of like, I think by making a decision that he did, people are just going to look at him as a special teamer, unfortunately for him. But real ones know, man, FIU Eric Rivers was a different beast. Just go look at the yards per catch he had. It was like in the 20s or something like that, if I remember right. I mean,
looking at it, yards per reception, 18.8.
last year,
Yeah,
yeah, that's stupid.
I mean, this year was
didn't he have like 60 catches?
14.4. Let's see. Yeah, so 2024 Eric Rivers, 62 receptions on 97 targets, 1,160, 12 touchdowns. Like,
it was ridiculous. On 60 catches,
on 62 catches.
Yeah.
And they're not even like they're in the he played the least amount of snaps in the slot. This is all out wide.
Exactly. But again, they're going to see smaller guy, move him in the slot, play him on special teams, and it's going to ruin his career. Like, I hate to say that, but I'm an Eric Rivers truther, man. I through and through. I think one of the custom jerseys I'm going to get, and I have my collection of jerseys is insane, but one I want to add is an FIU Eric Rivers jersey.
Fair.
And for people to be like, yeah, I'll tell you the other dude that I felt the same way about that plays for the Browns right now, Gage Larvadain, a little small guy that's on special teams now, almost reminiscent to Eric Rivers. But you know, he's doing his thing with the Browns. He's actually on the NFL team. That's all that matters.
Hey, good for him. Yeah, if he comes out and they say, you know what, you're a special teamer, and he becomes an all-pro, Pro Bowler, all-timer, I'm gonna go. Took y'all a little bit longer, but I could also see it. It is what it is. I mean, I wonder if some teams are gonna go, all right, smaller guy has speed, but can break a tackle. You'll be at least 5th on the roster.
Remember we were talking about Ryan Williams?
Yep.
He was Ryan Williams before Ryan Williams. Real ones know. Real ones know.
Yeah.
Like,
real ones know.
He's a demon.
He is nice. I should be watching more Georgia Tech football. I was really gonna watch it because like Haynes King. I was like, I wonder what Jamal Haynes is gonna do in Georgia Tech. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. But
yeah,
I gotta go back and watch some more Eric Rivers film because he's probably gonna be a 5th, 6th, or 7th pick. Unfortunately, I think, like you said, 1st-round talent.
He's been going like a 6th round.
Yeah, gotta be boxed in with the special teamers.
Yeah, but again, if he becomes an all-time great special teamer because of his ability to get the ball in his hands and make people miss, then great. Have a great career doing that.
Make good money too.
Yeah, make your money, break records. Hey, special teams don't get enough love, man. We've seen enough games where guys get down the field for about a 50-yard return and put their team in good field position, and then end up winning the game. So it is like this past weekend with the Baltimore Ravens. Unfortunately for them, Keaton Mitchell goes down the field, has a really good kick return. Then the pass from Lamar Jackson to Isaiah Likely, that's all they needed. 2 plays to get downfield, right?
Yep.
And then their kicker missed it.
Yeah.
But Eric Rivers could be that for a team. He could be what Keaton Mitchell did every single game. Put their team and just give field position every single time. So
could be what what's his name? Keenan Nwangu is good for a lot of teams. You love him on special teams, and you'll occasionally see him in on the offense.
Yep. That's a great pool. That's the same way. But I hope more for him, man, because I want him to kill it throughout this offseason process. And people start seeing like, damn, when everybody's talking about Tej Johnson at the Senior Bowl and things like that, and people knew how good he was. Well, Eric Rivers is a little bigger than him, but he definitely has that skill set too, just making amazing catches and getting in the open space and making people miss.
I agree. I'll touch on my last receiver, and then if you have anybody else we want to talk about, we definitely got the time.
Yeah.
Someone who I think is going to be in the same boat as Skyler Bell, but he's going to be a 6 or 7, or unfortunately a UDFA. But I would take him, given the size, the hands, the durability. I'm talking North Dakota State. I'm talking Bryce Lance.
Yeah, Bryce Lance, man. North Dakota State is one of those places that like not a lot of people watch the games until we start getting into this process, and then we start pulling out the film. But to me, Bryce Lance is one of those guys that is consistently really good at route running. I think his hands are amazing. Some catches that he made in the back of the end zone this year were really good. And I think his skill set along the sideline to stay in bounds and things like that was really, really good too. The thing is, did you play FBS teams?
Right.
And all that other stuff, right? Like you said, the Skyler Bell effect is what's going to definitely happen for him. But in Lance's case, I think for what we know about him so far from the tape, from what the accomplishments of North Dakota State, they are one of the hardest teams to evaluate because the whole team is good, right?
Yeah.
He didn't separate himself like the Gray Zables of the world. Like
Right.
Gray Zabel was definitely on par, was getting offers from other schools at the Power 4 level to come from North Dakota State and play for their team. This wasn't happening with him. So you kind of got to take everything with a grain of salt there. You just also don't want this to be a Christian Watson situation where I knew he wasn't going to be all that in a bag of chips like everybody thought he was. I mean, it was him and Drake London. I was like, Drake London is going to be the better receiver. Like, it just is what it is. But in Lance's case, he's going to be pretty decent on the team. I would say he's going to fall in the later rounds, like FCS players usually do. It's just we haven't seen a lot from him as well. And so when people get so late in the process as well, it's going to make you fall even further down. Gray Zabel had the height at his position because everybody wanted him.
Yeah.
On Lance's case, it's not going to be that way for him, unfortunately. So I don't know if he's joining the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl or anything, but guys like this and Andre Yoshivas and those guys coming from smaller schools, especially at a skill position like this, we saw it last year with the running back from Delaware. He came to the Senior Bowl and he had a really good time there. I forget his name, but he was pretty good and he was able to perform against his peers. The same thing can happen for this kid too. So I see him growing as an undrafted free agent, to be completely honest with you. Maybe somebody might squeak it out in the 7th round, but I definitely don't see him as a special teamer. I don't think his skill set's there. I think he's a possession receiver for sure.
Yeah. Bryce was invited to the East-West Shrine Bowl and not the Senior Bowl. So we'll still see him in a postseason bowl style aspect to get a good team out. So good for him.
Right.
I'm gonna say late because they're already in January, but I was looking at him sort of later rounds, like 6 and 7. Don't do that.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for him. I just personally think he's probably going to go undrafted, and it's because of the depth at receiver this year. He's going to get kind of buried amongst everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's North Dakota State, but coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, 8 touchdowns this year, 17 last year. He had 17 touchdowns on 75 receptions. He had 1,008 this year on 51 receptions. This year he averaged 21.2 yards per reception. But John, it's not FBS. I don't care. 21 yards per reception is outrageous at 6'3", 6'4".
And go watch the tape. A lot of it was along the sideline, him just getting open. But again, we haven't seen what his second level speed is and things like that. It was just pitch and catch, get tackled. Pitch and catch, get tackled. I forgot the quarterback's name there. He was just darting it downfield. And he also is being looked at very highly this year as well. So I think it's like Cole or something like that.
Yeah, let me look real quick. I will look for that. If you obviously in the comments, I skipped over guys like Casey Conception, Chris Bell, Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brazel, Jacoby
Cole
Daniels.
Is his name. Cole Payton.
There we go. I was about to look for him too. You beat me to the punch.
Yeah, I just have a bunch of notes up here, so
probably more prepared than I am.
Scroll to find it.
That's a fact.
So you're talking about some guys that I think that I have on my list pretty highly. Casey Concepcion, like you said, is up there. Man, I was talking about him 3 years ago when he was at North Carolina State, and some of the things that he was able to do there, this dude was Travis Hunter without playing defense. Like, he was just all over the place, playing every single position out there, running the ball, catching the ball, passing the ball. And then, of course, his special team ability is, I mean, we talk about Eric Rivers. This guy is going to be aimed at not only being a bona fide receiver, but also as good as a returner as well. Multiple touchdowns this year with Texas A&M, constantly putting that team in good position, constantly saving Marcel Reed in difficult situations, and honestly being the standout with two other good wide receivers on the team. We talked about Mario Craver backstage for a little bit too. That's coming back to Texas A&M. But through and through, you know, I have a homeboy that goes to Texas A&M right now, and when KC Concepcion came there, he was so excited because I was talking him up for years at that point. So yeah, I think he's definitely underrated. One guy that I actually have a draft guide on that I just finished today was Chris Bell from Louisville. Even though he tore his ACL, he's not going to be able to play most of the games this year. But I even wrote in the write-up, this guy is a fringe first rounder. I think he falls between the second and fourth round for a team. I think they're definitely going to take a flyer on him. But the thing about him is he does everything so good. He's super physical, has a second gear that I like to say about some of these guys. Like, he actually has that second gear that just makes people miss. And I always like to pay attention to what players say on Twitter as well. Like Tyler Shuck was his teammate last year. Every single time this dude had a big game, he's like, people don't understand how great of a human being that Chris is, and he was like praising him. So I naturally fit that like the Saints will probably take a flyer on him just to bring those vibes back with him and Tyler Shuck, which I think would be really cool. But I also write in a write-up as well that it's going to be hard to evaluate and do a deep dive on every single receiver from here on out, because I have him as a litmus test on what a great wide receiver is in this class, which is a huge compliment for him, in my opinion. So I gave him I think it was like a 4.3 stars out of 5. Like, I think he is a next level wide receiver. I just hate that he got injured, man, this year.
Dude.
And then Jeremy Bernard is the other one, man. Jeremy Bernard is the epitome of gritty, go do everything. I'm not great at a lot of things, but I catch the ball. I get first downs. I'm an ultimate teammate. I can play anywhere on the field, and I make things happen regardless of the situation. And scouting and teams are going to love him personality-wise because they're going to see that he was able to perform. And you guys, everybody has to think about this too. Think about who what's his name played with. Who's the receiver for the Bears that played at Washington?
Odunze? Yeah,
Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen oh my god, drawing a blank on his name too. But all of them played together with Jeremy Bernard. So he comes through from Washington under that pedigree in a wide receiving core, transfers to Alabama with Kalen DeBoer, and becomes his number one guy, and deals with the fact that everybody was talking about Ryan Williams even over him. And Jeremy Bernard is still was the best receiver on that team 2 years straight, right? Jalen Polk was the other one.
Thank you. I was getting there. I'm like, Jalen.
Yeah, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, and Rome Odunze. And they were like interchanging for years on who the number one guy was. Like, all of those guys are dogs.
They were.
And so he was number 4 in the depth chart there with all those guys. I think those three should be mentioned. You know, Chris Brazell is a demon as well. I want to do more on him. Eric Singleton Jr. is good out of Auburn. And then I guess like my underrated gem is Chase Roberts, man. Chase Roberts from BYU. He played with Jaron Hall, Zach Wilson. He played with Jake Retzlaff last year. He played with Barry Bachmeier this year. He played with Keaton Slovis.
Career backups.
All these guys at BYU. And decided to, he's had some injury issues here and there. But when I interviewed Jaron Hall 3 years ago, I asked him, who are some of the teammates that he thinks are going to be great at the next level. And he said Kingsley Suamataia, who everybody knows he plays for the Chiefs now.
Chiefs.
And then the other one was Chase Roberts, who he had brought up. And so whenever guys mention names to me, I started to pay attention to him a little bit more. And Chase Roberts people love him on that team too. And I interviewed Isaac Rex, who fortunately his career got cut short because of injuries. I thought he was going to be a great tight end at the next level, but he even brought Chase Roberts up as well. Just talking about how great of a teammate he was, and he's dealt with all this. He's a wide receiver that can deal with 5 different quarterbacks in their career is going to be able to come into a system and already have a leg up on a lot of people. So that's what Ricky Pearsall said in our interview with him too. He said, what's the advantage out of all the other wide receivers going into the NFL? And he said, I played with Anthony Richardson. I played with, the who's out there.
I think you were Trask.
No, it wasn't Trask. It was Anthony Richardson. It was
Emory Jones.
Emory Jones. It was Arizona State. He played with Jaden Daniels. So he's like, I'm already used to this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my advantage.
New quarterback, light work.
Yeah, easy work, man. Easy work. So
easy to.
But those are the 4 names that I think should be on everybody's list. But you go through this list of wide receivers, man. Dude. Zachariah Branch, Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame, Antonio Williams is underrated. Deion Burks out of Arkansas, Nick Anderson, CJ Daniels, Jacoby Lane.
I'll throw in some that came in really late in this process for a lot of teams. Ted Hurst out of Georgia State. It's a who's kind of name. And I'm looking at everything. I'm like, all right, I got work to do.
I got work to do on him too. I didn't watch unfortunately, I didn't get to see a lot of Georgia State games. I have a guy that covers them. And he talks about how good that he was, but he's definitely on my list to do. So that's what beautiful. That's what's so beautiful about this process, man. I can tell people I know a lot until I don't know it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll always be honest with people. I don't know him like that. So didn't get a chance to watch any Georgia State games.
Neither did I. The other name I was going to bring up, but I'm like, let me stop talking about myself. Let me get some other names in here. The other one we can touch up a minute or two was TCU's Eric McAlister. That was the other one I was like, I'll come off of.
Yeah, Eric McAlister, man. Another guy that you look at as he's an NFL wide receiver. But I think Eric McAlister can be a number one day. And I'm not saying that lightly. I think he's one of those guys, if you put him on the Chargers or something, he works his way to even being over Ladd McConkey. And I love Josh Hoover. I think, he was one of my favorite quarterbacks this year. I think him committing to Indiana is absolutely disgusting. They're going to probably go to another national championship if they go to one this, here. I
don't know. Texas Tech is loading up.
They are again, but I'm, like Kirk Sidnetti said, just Google me. I'll win everywhere I am.
That's true.
But I don't think there's an Eric McAlister without a Josh Hoover.
Right.
For sure. But I think it's kind of like they complemented each other so well that I can honestly say that Josh Hoover's his own quarterback and Eric McAlister is his own wide receiver. And they're both just good. It's unfortunate that the rest of their team was kind of shitty, to be honest with you. But Eric McAlister is physical. Probably who was the guy that played at Missouri last year? It wasn't Luther Burden. It was his backup. Theo Weiss.
There we go. Dolphin.
Yeah. Theo Weiss, to me, had the best hands in the draft.
Ooh.
I think he had the most sure hands in the draft. That's how I feel about Eric McAlister. I think he has the best hands in the draft. And I'm not saying go after a pass like Makai Lemon will and make a great grab. I'm just saying if the ball is in his vicinity and it's an accurate ball, he's not dropping that shit. That's Eric McAlister to me.
That's fair. That I keep saying he came in late. Because I was looking at guys Lance, Cooper, Bell, Rivers. I'm like, oh, I'll take him, third, fourth, fifth. And I'm like, why do I keep seeing this McAlister kid? Let me do a little. Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, Eric McAlister is going to get chosen in the second round for a team.
Ooh.
Okay. I feel like he's going to have a crazy offseason to remember too. I know we're reaching high for a couple guys, but I'm putting what I know about NFL scouting, and I'm saying that he has the skill set to really attract a lot of teams later on in the process.
The skills. I'm not questioning one bit. I wasn't expecting him to be the second round pick. I'm like, third, I could see squeezing, fourth, second.
Yeah.
Third teams that need receivers that badly. I don't disagree now.
Yeah, he's a second round pick to me. Late second.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who's a late. Him to San Fran with Pearsall, because they're going to get rid of Ayuk.
Yeah, that would be a good place. I definitely can see Kyle Shanahan taking a guy like him to be, a little bit more consistent for a guy like Brock Purdy. Because to be honest, Brock Purdy gets shit on, and I love Brock Purdy. Like, I think he was deserving of that money, first of all. He's been playing out of his mind ever since he came back from his injury.
Yep.
And if people don't think that they're just like one wide receiver away, and the depth that they have is crazy, to be honest with you. So that's one thing that I'll say, but being one wide receiver away from that offense just being absolutely diabolical and elite. Yeah, put Eric McAlister there. Oh my God, I wouldn't want to play in the NFC West.
I mean, the NFC West is good for a good receiver. You had Cup in Seattle or in LA for a long time. Now they got Puka. You got JSN.
Yeah,
Marv was supposed to be that guy, but it turned into Trey McBride at tight end. Like,
yeah. Hey, Marv didn't want to do any workouts. He felt like he was good enough to.
Yeah. Like coming out, he was a good receiver too. Like I don't think that whole weird, like, because I was a Marv fan going in, Marv fan coming out. I don't think Arizona did him any favors either, though. Because it took like 6 games for Kyler to finally target him, and then once he did, they're like, all right, cool. And this season, I'm like, where is he?
Well, this season he started out dropping the ball a ton.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm a Michael Wilson guy. I'm glad I hit that one on the head, though. I told people he's gonna be a 1,000-yard receiver one day, and it's just gonna fly under the radar. What did he do this past season? Flew under the radar and had 1,000 yards. So, well, Michael Wilson is that guy. But yeah, when you can't get 1,000 yards over Michael Wilson, that's kind of crazy. In my opinion,
it makes no sense. Granted, they're gonna go through heavy. Changes after firing Gannon, so hopefully he gets someone in there that knows what to do, because if he falls into that boat of like a top 5 wide receiver that had all the talent in the world just to go short, I'm gonna be like, that one stings.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, so I guess we'll see how his career progresses, but I don't at this point in time, he's not worth the first round pick when you have Trey McBride and Michael Wilson as the 2 best receivers on your team.
Yeah.
Let's think back to that draft where he got taken. If you would have told me 3 years later that we're looking at this as Marv being, just an okay wide receiver,
the third option on his team.
Yeah, I would think that that's insane, right? Like, what are we doing?
If you told me in 2025 that Quinn Johnston would have been better than Marvin Harrison Jr., I would have called you a liar.
Brother, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Like, look, no shit, it's not a shot on Quentin whatsoever. We didn't have faith for you coming into the season, and you have overly produced.
Yeah, he has, especially earlier in the year. He was very, very surprising, because I thought to be honest, your career still has been buns so far, like not what everybody expected it to be. I didn't like him coming out of TCU compared to a lot of other guys, but hey, it is what it is. But this year, hey, coming next season like this, I think you can kind of shut everybody up, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it helps when you have Keenan Allen back and you have McConkey, so the pressure is off of you a little bit. Like having
Aronde
pressure off
Gadsden started to step up too. You got
Trey
Kamari
Harris.
Vidal has been really good at running back. When Omarion Hampton gets back healthy enough, but that boy's a beast too. But
I mean, even Trey Harris. Like I was a fan of Trey last year, and he goes there. I'm like, he's gonna be like the 5th receiver on the roster, and I'm like,
he had a really good last couple weeks. Yeah.
Yep.
We shall see.
We shall see. But no, man, this was absolute fun. I can't wait to do this again. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me, man. Anytime that I get to talk ball, especially college ball, college prospects, I mean, this is what I do all year long, man, making sure that I got the right information and getting these guys as close to right as possible before, they head off to the NFL. Look, I know I can't control the coaching and the way that they're going to play at the next level, but at least I can give you an expectation. So That's what my audience appreciates about us. Like, one of the best predictions I ever had, and this goes to watching the film and everything. I wasn't big on Joe Alt coming out. I really wasn't. I thought that Joe Alt was going to be, if he was to move to right tackle, he would have been better there. Guess what he played his first year? Right tackle.
Right tackle.
Nobody's making predictions like that unless you got to know ball and you got to know what you're talking about, and you have to make. I have to strip away every single report out there on people and where they're projected and come up with my own. Just like how I felt about Jeremiah Love. I'm doing the breakdown on him right now. Is he everything that what people have said that he is? Well, I'm only one game in and he looks incredible, but I start at 0. I try not to go off the hype. So if any advice to anybody out there, man, always further your education. I'm always like reading up on things. I'm always joining coaching seminars. I was a former coach. I'm always like in a group chat with somebody, chatting with college coaches. Like I'm helping high school guys out currently right now. So if you guys know any high school guys that are trying to get their thing going, I got a little bit of connections, but I review film for free for high school guys, like, because I understood how it was when I was younger. But I'm always trying to do something to not only further this brand, but to make sure that like guys like you, when it comes to draft season and evaluating prospects, that like I'm the number one on the top of your list. Like I don't really trust anybody else, but we hit on guys like Bo Nix and Tyler Shuck, in the last 2 years when everybody said that we were wrong. So. You don't make those predictions unless you do the work.
No, not at all. I mean, the fact that we were talking, I see on Twitter, the Saints are getting ready to move on move through the next season with Shuck at their quarterback. I'm like, well, I don't see people were happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good for him though.
Yeah, and Tyler Shuck has been the real deal. Everything that I thought he was. Hey, they, not to get on a tangent about the Saints, but real quick, man, like. The way that the Saints handled that situation is exactly how I would have handled it. You go in there, and this is to all new coaches coming in. This is why Kellen Moore is kind of setting the standard for whatever. And I'm telling you, he's going to be the blueprint for all young coaches in this offseason. Mark my words. You go in there and you give your guy that you invested a lot into, and Spencer Rattler, the chance to be the starter. And when he screws up, you go to Tyler Shuck. But you couldn't do the reverse because of how old Shuck is. If he goes and does bad, he'll never start again, right? But if you let him develop against a guy that's younger than him, and that young guy messes up, and then Tyler Shuck is ready, you pull the trigger, and guess what? You get results like you got at the end of the season last year, and every Saints fan is eating crow because they all thought Tyler Shuck was going to be buns. So, but now they're happy. So that's how every coach needs to handle their situation moving forward. And I don't. The thing with Kevin Stefanski is another one. I think he handled that situation beautifully up there, and people crap on him, but he got dealt the shittiest hand of cards I've ever seen.
Man, I could go on a tangent about that whole Browns. I think I'll make this short and sweet. I think if they selected Shedeur first, then Dylan, there would have been no issues. The fact they went Dylan, then Shedeur, I think people were like, what are we doing here?
If they wouldn't have went Dylan and Will Howard, you wouldn't have heard anything.
Nope. Not peep.
The situation that, so I'm gonna be honest with you. Dylan was the better quarterback this year. It just is what it is when you look at it. Statistics wise, when Shedeur got put in the same conversation as Jimmy Clausen, that's not the same place that you want to be in. He has the worst QBR of all time in his first 6 starts. And Jimmy Clausen was the number 1 in that category. So QBR is kind of a stat that I pay attention to a lot because I don't want to say it's bulletproof, but it's as bulletproof as you can get to evaluate a quarterback game by game, right? Yep. You never want to be in the same conversation as him. But if you would have went with Dylan, and then let's say Will Howard has been performing the same way as Shedeur, people would be like, man, go back to Dylan Gabriel.
Exactly.
But because it's Shedeur. It doesn't matter.
That whole process just look,
all
like,
the other draft picks they hit on, man. Like, Mason Graham is great. Carson Schlesinger should be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Harold Fannin Jr. was one of our favorites, man. He's such a beast.
Samson and Judkins.
Oh, I loved Dylan Sampson was my number 1 running back, man. Quinshon Judkins, unfortunate for him, he broke his leg, but you start going down the line of all those draft picks, you're like, damn, they kind of hit on all of them. And they had a situation where they had 2 quarterbacks that they both let start, and they literally saw what they had there. And now they know either I go into this draft another one, or I run it back with those 2 again, which I say run it back with the 2 again and see what you got.
I mean, you have nothing left to lose at this rate.
I wouldn't waste a high draft pick on a quarterback in this draft.
Oh no! Once Fernando and Moore goes, it's like Simpson. No,
I like Ty Simpson. I think he's probably the number 1, but I don't think the Browns are going to see it that way.
I don't think he'll be a first round pick at all. I think he'll fall for sure.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, a lot of executives are saying that they think Ty Simpson is first round talent, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be picked up in the first round. I definitely think that Fernando's going number 1 overall to the Raiders. Yep. I don't think they're going to screw that up. It's just too attractive to a new head coach to bring a kid like that in and change the culture around. Dante Moore hasn't declared yet, so we don't know. But if he does, he's going to be the number 2. And then maybe the number 3 is going to be Ty Simpson. And then it's a direct fall off after that on who you want to choose.
It's a cliff. It is the Max Kellerman Brady cliff.
It's maybe we might not see another quarterback till the 6th round.
It's
a pitfall.
If Trinidad Chambliss came out, he would have saved that mid round for QBs.
And he might. They haven't approved his waiver yet. He just signed on to the school just in case. But
which is smart. I'll give him credit. That's a smart decision.
If Trinidad Chambliss comes up and he can't go back to school, it's going to throw a monkey wrench in a lot of this.
Yeah.
It might be 4 in the first 2 rounds, and then the cliff falls to the 6th.
And then the cliff falls, yeah. Which, I mean, I think the problem for Chambliss is like the limited experience he has. Teams are going to go, do I do it?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an injury history, but I mean, he did win a national championship at Division II at Ferris State.
That's true.
He possibly can win a national championship in this situation. And I think the thing that's going to be attractive about him is the way that he won against Georgia, and they beat them the second time around. And if they go to a national championship, people are going to say, well, Trinidad went through the whole went through this later part of the season, won a championship without his head coach and all the controversy that happened there.
Exactly.
And as a quarterback, you got to bring those guys together through that adversity. It's not really, I know Pete Golden is their head coach right now, but I got to give it to Trinidad. He had to go through a quarterback competition. Like he went to Ole Miss knowing that he was going to be the number 2 to Austin Simmons and beat him out.
And Simmons is now, I think, a Mizzou Tiger.
I think that's where he's crystal balled. I don't know if it's official yet, but usually those things are not incorrect.
Those things are pretty on spot.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's already announced it.
Oh, he is a Mizzou
Yeah,
Tiger? Wow.
they've already said he's a Mizzou Tiger.
That shit is kind of crazy to me.
This is Yahoo, USA, On3.
Okay, yeah. If On3 is reporting that it's official, then I'm good with that.
Yeah, On3 said it as of recording, because I'll put this out on Thursday. This has it put it out 12 hours ago.
Yeah, well, it's official. I don't know why.
he went to
Austin Simmons is unique. He graduated early in his sophomore year. He quit the baseball team. And that was his dream school. So I don't know why he's going to Missouri. I have no idea. I don't know, man. Do you?
I mean, you say in the SEC, so you'll get good competition, but like, really?
Yeah, I'm very confused by that move. But hey, man, do you, man? Whatever's.
I mean, NIL is gonna they probably paid him a decent little bag. So you know what? Touche.
I have some connections at Mizzou. I'm gonna ask them. I know the equipment guy, not the equipment guy, the videographer guy out there that does all the film for the football team.
Yeah,
he's the manager of all that. I'm gonna see if he knows anything. Like, hey,
you better be like, hey, you got any like certain like Austin people coming through your town real quick?
Yeah, yeah. Give me the special scoop on that, because I don't know why he would choose Mizzou.
Yeah, no.
Over his dream school, apparently, that Ole Miss was. But
I got questions that are not for this video. I'm gonna wrap things up again. Dante, cannot thank you enough for coming on, spending an hour and a half with me and doing over some extensive work on these receivers, because I was already high on a lot of them. I'm now high on a few others.
For sure, man. Yeah. I pride myself on doing the work, so a lot of people don't have to, man. But I genuinely love this stuff, man. You know, I could bring out the statistics all day. Everybody could look those up, but people want to just give me the high level breakdown on how these guys are. So hopefully, your audience and everything got a little bit of understand how passionate I am about these guys and their skill sets and how I think they're going to fit at the next level. So maybe wrong about some of them, but that's all part of the process, because I look at this as like, and I encourage you to do the same thing. I was so wrong about a guy like Christian Gonzalez. You know what I did the last 2 years? I've been grinding the hell out of cornerbacks and like trying to see where I was wrong in that process. So I don't always look at it as a failure. I look at it as another way to sharpen the knife to get a little bit cleaner in my evaluation. So I pride myself on being wrong, but that's just where I see these guys from their college tape. So that's all I'll say.
Hey, you got to start somewhere and you got to improve somewhere. So this is always the fun with it, especially with college football.
For sure. Yep. And if anybody's asking, I don't do mock drafts until the week before we go to the Senior Bowl. So mock draft, everybody, that's like our biggest live streams is when I start doing those. But
yeah, those are always hot for us.
Yeah. It's fun times, but it is. I feel a little weary about doing them before I like have a really get grasp on everybody. So before the Senior Bowl, I think it's the right time to do it. So
touche. I am too impatient. I've already put out our 1.0, so I might have 2.0 mocked up for next week.
If it helps you grow your channel, bro, milk it.
I was about to say, like, it helps. So like I'm conflicted.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, if your audience enjoys it, it is what it is. So
it's always
my dog's yawning back here.
I was about to say my dog is probably doing the same thing downstairs, so I will get us on our way. Guys, on your way out, guys, hit that subscribe button. You're on your way out. Like I said, road to 1,000 here on BIB. Hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free and takes 2 seconds of your time. Go follow Dante, East Coast Guardian, whether it's you see him on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, go follow him. Does nothing but good work over there, him and the fella. So hit that subscribe button on here. Go subscribe to Dante. This will come out, like I said, Thursday. So when this comes out, y'all go in the comments. Tell me who your favorite receiver in this class is and who would you want for, not just for the Commanders, but if you're a Jags fan, a Dolphins fan, Cowboys fan, if you want a receiver, let me know who your favorite receiver is in the comments. But until then, guys, raise hail. See y'all this offseason because it's going to be a tumultuous one. See y'all next time. We out.
See you guys.